Hello everyone, it's Liam Caddison here, and we're reacting to another episode of Supernatural. It's episode 4 of season 7, where last time we had a surprise appearance, I guess you could say. Because, I mean, I was not expecting Joel to be in the episode. Of course, Kaylee from Firefly. But I think the bigger shock came with who she was playing. Amy Pond. So yeah, of course, for non-Doctor Who fans, fly over their heads. For not just a big Doctor Who fan, but someone who crushes on Amy Pond from Doctor Who. This was a big deal for me. So yeah, I think there were quite a few people that were anticipating me getting to this episode because, like I said, there are a few people who know about my love for Amy Pond, for Karen Gillan. So yeah. But it was a really, really great episode, though. Like, a very, very, I guess, decisive ending in terms of, like, was Dean in the right to kill Amy, despite the fact that she, of course, with how she was killing a few people in order to help her son out, even though she didn't want to mean any kind of nefarious harm, Dean had that worry that what if, you know, that need comes up again, even though you're saying you're not going to do it again. So, of course, there was that situation where it prompted a very interesting opinion on if Dean was in the right or not. So, yeah. But there was also the idea that, you know, Sam needs to be informed as well, considering how Amy had such an attachment to Sam. So yeah, with that said though, why don't we get into this episode of Supernatural, episode 4, season 7. Let's go.
Possible.
Jeez. It is interesting how he's outrunning the car, considering the car has so much beef. Yeah, can you enter this building? Thought not.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No way. No way. Oh my god! You know what's so dumb? I'm remembering that American Dad skit for some reason. For some reason. I have no idea why, but that just played in my head.
Some kind of ghost? With a license?
License to kill. I was gonna make that joke! Same brain cell.
What do you got? I don't know. Looks like some kind of...
He came in a couple days ago, paid me 3 years in advance to keep his monthly delivery going.
And where do the flowers go?
A Miss Elizabeth Duran.
You mind writing Elizabeth's address down? I'd like to pay her a visit.
Whoa. I was gonna say, just the look. Didn't give me a... Yeah, well, she's not taking any calls right now. At least on the mortal coil.
Elizabeth Duran, killed 10 years ago when a neighbor backed out of his driveway, didn't see her bike. No one was ever charged. Police ruled it an accident.
Oh.
Neighbors are 10th floor pancake.
Uh-huh. So...
I felt bad.
Some restaurant somewhere.
Sir?
No way. Oh my god.
Hello?
Oh my goodness. You're not a good boy. But I have a feeling that this guy was not a good boy either.
Heard of it?
That sounds weird. A ghost dog?
No weirder than ghost car, you know?
You know, it does make sense. Vengeance on the guy that Michael Vicked you. I mean, I'm no one to judge, but it sounds to me like that guy had it coming.
Maybe.
Same with
So he got busted.
the first guy, like in terms of hitting that little girl.
We're gonna be searching all year.
Hey, Nelly! Phew.
Hey,
That was a
okay?
bit audacious.
Car, Sam.
Trial. All I know is 1 minute I'm at the bar and the next I get jumped. Wake up in a damn courtroom. Courtroom? Like a courtroom? Well, no. There was a judge. Everything was crazy. It was in a barn.
at the apple farm?
Yeah.
Oh.
In this bar where you were grabbed?
Everybody judges all day long. Look, I'm just supposed to ignore what that guy did?
We've shot people, Dean. More than 2.
Yeah, you know what? When those ghosts come to kick my ass, they've got a compelling case.
Oh,
So what?
very
You're
interesting
saying
argument here. Like,
Say, you know,
maybe
one
do the
simple
ghosts
freaking day
have
on
the
job, is
right?
that too much to ask.
Well, look, I'm gonna
Even
go
if
out,
people try
and
to
we're trying find
change.
that barn. How? Just trust me, okay? I'm trying to help. Stay put.
I was gonna.
Bobby, hey, me. Listen,
He's still gonna die, isn't he? Oh, what's this guy's
You know, we
deal?
have enough room for the world.
With the cap.
Up that can, sister.
Dean.
You want to slow your roll there.
The
Yeah.
more I drink, the better I tip.
Yeah, well, I'm off in an hour. So don't pass out on me.
Well, then I think I'll switch to beer.
I am really, really concerned with how like fast he was taking those doubles. Like I've had my whiskey time to time, and you know you don't wanna go fast on that.
Identify the god Osiris, real authoritarian type.
Oh,
He gets a hold of you, he's judge, jury, and executioner. He can see
shoot!
directly into the human heart. He weighs the guilt. If he finds more than a feather's worth, boom, you're done.
So what's he doing in Deer?
Makes sense even if
He
people
just
try
pops
to
up and
forgive
does his
themselves,
circuit
but they
judge act, and
can't.
then-
Also, I love how he's
Third message.
cold.
You better not be loaded.
He's got
Call me,
Sam
this
on
is
his
important.
contact list as Sammy. Shit.
No, please. I'm sorry.
Apparently, sorry, he's not gonna cut it.
To us.
Oh boy.
Go away.
But he has the right to an attorney, doesn't he? Let me defend him.
That's unusual.
Well, you gonna respect his rights or not?
You know what? Let him cook.
Why not?
Better call Sam.
Joanna Beth Harvell to the stand.
Wait. Oh no!
Dean,
No! No!
long time.
No!
Working with him. Considering your feelings,
No. What feelings?
you would have done quite a bit for him. Followed him into any battle.
I know where you're getting at, and it's bull.
So Dean
Oh damn!
nothing to do with your first case, the one that started it all.
Brought you into this life and
Ended up in that hardware store,
don't,
holding a fuse.
You're a piece of work.
don't, just don't.
Put words in her mouth.
And he's silencing him.
Or I'll remove his tongue.
Shit.
Good. I mean,
You idolized him.
With Ellen blaming, of course, John.
So why'd you start? To impress some loudmouth ass you just met? Because you wanted
Well,
to make your dad.
he's got to play the lawyer. He can't be biased.
But were you not happily out of the family racket until Dean showed back
Oh
up in that gas
no!
guzzler? The truth now.
He's got to speak the truth and nothing but the. Oh. This is.
It's complicated.
This is mental.
You back into that catastrophic mess because he'd rather damn you with him than be alone.
Oh, Dean.
No. One way or another, I gotten pulled back in.
You know that for certain.
Pretty sure.
With the whole fact that he was groomed to be, you know, Yellow Eyes' next in command.
Batman, did you know Jess would die? Or any of it?
Of course not.
Right. How could you? I mean, are you psychic?
I can see what Sam's gonna do.
That's a question.
No. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
Cyrus doesn't know
So
shit.
why would you feel guilty about not predicting the future?
I guess it doesn't make any sense.
I see what Sam's doing though. Like, can you see this shit happening? No.
I really enjoyed that. I'm going to be generous and ask, Dean, Do you want me to call my last witness?
Oh, no. No. Oh!
No problem.
Dean Winchester,
Shit.
guilty in your heart, and sentence you to die. I suggest you get your affairs in order quickly.
Oh my god. Well, we'll find a way to resolve this, because we're not dealing with this shit again.
Apparently, Jewish people blow through them once a year.
Where are you gonna find one this time of night?
Synagogue?
You're gonna steal from a temple. That's a new level.
You're in
Wow!
death row, Dean.
I mean,
Joking around.
this is extreme measures for an extreme risk.
Your Honor.
I'm guessing you're not here for bar mitzvah lessons.
I just need to borrow it! Oh, poor Sam. Oh, Sam. Shit.
You deserve better.
No, you did. You deserve better, Joe.
Pains him that this has happened to Joe.
I'd like to have seen you try.
She was willing to
I
follow
was right
along.
about one thing.
Oh.
What, your massive crush on me?
Shut up. You carry all kinds of crap you don't have to, Dean.
Makes sense though, he can beat himself up though.
It's time.
It's not time though. Shit. Shit. No way. Oh my god. Oh. Hey! Night, night!
Joe?
Time to get rid of that 90% crap, really, I guess, but I don't think you could.
You know, I feel like I did a lot of stuff I should have felt bad for, and then I paid a lot of dues and came out the other side, you know?
And that worked. I mean, you really feel like your slate's wiped?
No,
Well, not really, but he
it
can't
never gets wiped, you know?
beat himself up.
Sometimes I see Lucifer when I friggin' brush my... I kind of feel good, Dean.
You can say that, because...
It'd be a pleasure to ride with.
Yeah. He can say that with all of his heart. Hey. But I mean, there was some things that were really for Sam. Like, especially when Lucifer took control and all of that, that there were some things that he just couldn't really afford to feel guilt about, because there was just some things that you just can't really dwell upon, I guess, with Sam. Like, especially with the whole situation with him and the him and the blood thing. So yeah. And it is interesting how we do get to see the differences between Sam and Dean in regards to guilt, and how one really weighs heavy on the other. And you know, with Sam, it is, you know, it is something that you can never like really forget, but it's not something that really weighs him down at the same time. So but it was a very interesting concept for an episode. Like bringing Osiris and bringing Dean on trial. Like even having Sam play lawyer, which is obviously a nice callback. Yeah, it was really good stuff though, this episode. Yeah, I mean, it was really powerful in some areas, like especially how kind of relevant, I guess, it is in regards to the whole guilt situation, and how there are certain, I guess, burdens that people may carry that, you know, that they don't have to. Especially given Dean's situation with Joe, and how Joe didn't exactly blame him, but, you know, Dean obviously has so much guilt there. But obviously, with what Dean and Sam do, obviously there's that the comparison might wane a bit. But I think the message is still there that sometimes we do blame ourselves as well for stuff that we don't necessarily need to. I mean, I'm poster boy for that, really. And we'll get onto that in a moment. But yeah, it was really, really great stuff. I really loved going into the whole Egyptian, culture that this episode went into, and how Osiris was there, and how he had all of these people who, even though they tried to write their lives, they tried to, change what they were before, like 10 years ago or whatever. That their guilt is still there, and you want to be put on there. Okay. Their guilt is still there, really, and it pains them for the rest of their lives, no matter what good they do. So it was very interesting going in there, and then you have Osiris, of course, just picking off these people who might have done wrong once upon a time ago, who might try to do good, but they're still judged, and they are tested to see if that guilt is still there, really, if that guilt still weighs heavy, really. And how it, of course, compares to how Dean and Sam are feeling in regards to their guilt, in regards to what they have done. So yeah, it was very, very interesting, because with Dean, obviously, we'll get onto that in a moment, but with Sam, obviously, he made a very interesting comment in regards to how he is feeling in regards to how he served his time in regards to hell and all the pain. Because obviously there is that situation with season 4 with the whole blood scenario, and not just that though, but with this whole situation with rising Lucifer from the pit, and that was a pretty big deal in regards to coming into season 5. Was there was this huge guilt on his conscience with the fact that Lucifer came around. So yeah. But there comes that admission, really, that he has been able to let go of this guilt. And he feels, even though that there is still pain tormenting him, obviously, with Lucifer, but, there is an unhealthy... That's definitely going to get addressed further at some point, but there is that unhealthy situation where he's just pressing the pain away, really. He's done his time. And that weight of hurt and guilt has been lifted in some semblance. So yeah. But with Dean, he's always been a very, very vulnerable cat, hasn't he? With the fact that, I mean, even in this episode, you see Joe tried to assure him that what happened to her was not his fault. But with Dean, yeah, I mean, he does beat himself up so harshly. And, every time that you have someone who is not saved, or something drastic happens and all of that, he will go into this space where he just beats himself up. Even if he's not to blame, he will hold himself accountable for what happened. So... And I feel like it was a very, very massive thing to bring Joe back. I mean, we all miss Joe. Last season we did have Ellen back, of course. But with Joe, I mean, with Dean, it's been a very, very massive thing with how Joe died. So that's been a thing that has been really, really effective. That's been one of the many things I would say that's been prominently, I would say, explored in terms of Dean's psyche, is the fact that he does blame himself for what happened to Joe. He feels like he got Joe killed. So there is a nice kind of closure that has happened with this episode for Joe to, appear. And this was full on Joe. Like, she even said that, I don't want to do this, but this is Osiris's doing, so I'm just essentially a puppet, really. Even in death, I can't find bloody peace, can I? But there is that nice closure from Jo where she's like admitting to Dean that but it is really, really sad that no matter what Jo says, there is still going to be blame, because that's Dean in a nutshell, I would say. And I feel like that is pretty, it doesn't negate Jo's message or anything like that, but I will say, in regards to how this does relate to, people feeling guilt or people feeling bad and all of that, that there is so much on a person's shoulders and everything. It doesn't undo Jo's message whatsoever that Dean might still carry that guilt, that he will not accept the idea that, carrying around all of this guilt isn't healthy, and that he needs to accept the idea that you can't save everyone, because that's, not just is it Dean in a nutshell, especially with how vulnerable he really is, but also I do, like I said, with this episode there is a sense of relatability, really, because there is a way where we value we beat ourselves up all the time. Like I said, it might not be comparable, or comparable, should I say, to what Dean and Sam do, because this is a much extreme case. But when it comes to someone beating themselves up when they don't need to, it's me in a nutshell. I always talk down about myself, and I'm always ridiculing myself further, I always never see myself in a and you have all of these people saying no, don't think that, etc. So you're beating yourself up too much. But even with that assurance, I still it becomes a habit, because I don't usually see myself in a positive light and all of that, and I think of myself more of a burden towards people. I may have mentioned this in previous reactions, where we go onto a very, very heavy topic of mental health and all of that. But like I said, it might not be comparable to Dean and the guilt that he is feeling, but I think the message really hits strong that this guilt that you're feeling, there is so much burden on your shoulders that you don't need to feel. You beat yourself up too harshly, and you don't just beat yourself up too harshly, but what are you doing? Ooh, I just dropped something. Oops. But I was just checking on Milo, and then I just dropped something. But there is this message of beating yourself up too harshly, and judging yourself, and you even have Dean, even if Jo is telling him, saying, this is not your fault, he doesn't blame Jo for what she's about to do. And it also ties into Dean's mental health about not minding if he dies, because obviously he made that mention that if something happened to Bobby, then he will drive the car off the cliff or whatever. And I feel like we're highlighting it further in terms of Dean not really minding what happens to him, even if Jo is saying that you weren't to blame. But again, like I said, in regards to Dean and how he, holds himself accountable for stuff that, he's not going to save everyone and all of that, and he will blame himself. And it's like me when it comes to, I'm not going to get things right. I am not going to, I'm not going to be, the perfect person in terms of my friends and all of that. And, I feel like any kind of an annoyance, I've done something wrong, and I beat myself up too much, and I overanalyze the situation. So but that is just something that is, you know, even if people try to give that assurance, I just can't help but I just can't help but cling on to that, and you know, it is a sad endeavor. Yeah, I get it, but it is something that, you know, is just attached with me, and there are various, I would say, reasonings to why this can be the way where I beat myself up too much. It might have been something to do with, you know, past connections and how that has gone down to her, and, you know, I would have been in a position where, you know, I will think, is it me, etc. Or it might be because of the fact that it is hard for me to accept a compliment sometimes, because sometimes I just don't feel worthy of you know, being complimented, admired, etc. So yeah, that I should be more so chastised, etc., or mocked even. So so when someone, you know, tries to tell you not to beat yourself up too harshly or anything like that, it is very, very difficult for me to try and resonate to that, because it's, you know, just it's just stitched to my mind, really. And that's the thing. That's the thing with Dean, with the fact that, you know, you're not going to save everyone, sadly, and no hero can do that. Not even Spider-Man can do that. It doesn't matter if you're a superhero. It doesn't matter if you're a hunter. It doesn't matter who you are, that not everyone's going to be able to be saved. But Dean has that instinct where he has to be there. Because he wants. He just has this habit of holding himself accountable if he's not there for someone, if he's not able to save someone. So yeah. And it was just very, very great stuff. Like, just to delve with the whole trial situation where Sam essentially cooked. So, because it's not just a nice callback in terms of, you know, Sam prior to you know, this whole supernatural journey, but also it gave Dean a chance, really, to try and stand tall, really. He even had Dean come to the stand, really, where Sam essentially got him to say that, you know, you can't really blame things that are not in your control. So which is very, very great. Like, there is so much hurt that Dean is channeling, but that is you know, it is interesting, because that is a gig of a hero, like, where, you know, you're going as well, where hey, get off that, where you're going to, like I said, you're not going to be able to save everyone as a hero, and there are going to be stuff that are out of your hands that is going to weigh heavy on you. So yeah, sure, Dean is far from perfect, but there's also this case where he does blame himself so much for things that, like, even Joe tried to show him, but it's still heavy on his mind, to the point where there was literally going to be a mirror death scenario of, you know, Joe killing Dean with you know, the whole gaslighter situation. So yeah. But it was also very interesting to delve into Sam's situation, not just in terms of how he doesn't feel like that guilt is hampering him down, but also when Osiris put him on the stand, and how Sam said about the fact that, you know, yeah, I might have had this normal life and all of that, but at the same time, I would have been pulled back at some point, probably, into the hunter's life. Which, when you think about Yellow Eyes as well, and how, you know, he was anointed to be, you know, the next big thing. That's what I was thinking in regards to Sam saying, well, I would have been pulled back in some capacity. But there would have obviously been other factors, I guess, to contend with as well in that matter. So yeah. But yeah, it was like a very, very interesting concept, though. So yeah, but it is also very fascinating as well as sad to see further descent in terms of Dean's mental health. Because, I mean, yeah, we know that Dean is a drinker, but given his comments to what he said about, you know, dying, how he acted when, you know, Sam was saying, seeing things, and how he's like, well, something's always going to kick our asses, because it always does. You know, seeing him just down those shot doubles, should I say, very, very rapidly, to just take his mind away. Yeah, it is very interesting seeing the mental decline, because we are seeing like episodes like this where we play around with such fascinating concepts, which is really, really sad, but like I said, fascinating concepts nonetheless, because, you know, bringing Osiris in and having, you know, Jo come around, and not just that though, but be able to create the full circle really for her character. It's great stuff to see, but it is also very, very, very sad, and going along this journey for this season, especially for Dean's mental health, it's one that is unfolding into it's a story that is unfolding really, really well done in my opinion. Sad, but, you know, well written, I would say, especially when you have Osiris here, and you assess Dean's past, should I say, and you tie that with Dean's I guess mentality really. Especially since we all know that he is pretty vulnerable, and he will beat himself up you know, a lot of the time if he's not able to be there. So, but, you know, seeing him just being brought to like a judge and all of that, and, you know, testing his heart, yeah, there's some very, very interesting concepts that the writers are playing around with this season. So yeah, but even away from, you know, the mental health situation with the Leviathans, and yeah, because they are fucked. They are creepy. So yeah, but yeah, very, very fascinating events that unfolded in this episode. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!